like all these news clips and podcasts and whatever else is going, wherever else the people are posting stuff about, Elon Musk, and it's unconstitutional and he wasn't elected and all this and all that. And it's like, what they're doing is unfair, and their, humanitarian aid is being cut off and all this, unconstitutional. He's not an elected official. Yet we had, for 4 years of transgenders running this country. Everywhere I went, every store I went into, anywhere you went, this was being pushed. The corporations, the insurance companies, the millionaires, the billionaires, the celebrities, the athletes, the actors, the football fields. They were pushing all this transgender stuff. I mean, I never knew that there was this many lunatics living in the country. I really didn't. For 4 years, we had unelected lunatics running this country. Joe Biden wasn't running this country. He wasn't calling these shots. For the last 2-3 years, the man, he couldn't even hardly get a sentence out. And then there's another thing. They covered for him. All these people covered. That's a disgrace to the people like me. I don't know where these people think they got the right to do that. As far as I'm concerned, if we had a real honest Department of Justice in this country, there should be a lot of arrests. What they did was they perpetrated a scam on the American people by allowing a man in there that was clearly unfit to be in that office. He was unfit to be in that office. But what was you going to do? I couldn't do nothing. I don't have any kind of power like that. But there's people that had power. We had the military. Okay, we had the so-called senators. They don't have no power. Those people are, those senators and those House representatives, they're a waste. They're nothing but a waste. They don't have no power to do nothing. Nothing. All they have the power to do is give our money away and then act like they don't know where it's going to. That's the only power they have. I mean, for 4 years, there was a man running this country. Well, not incognito, you might as well say. He wasn't running nothing. He wasn't calling the shots. You ain't going to tell me that some 80-something-year-old Joe Biden and all these other should be out to pasture Democrats support transgenderism. They do that. They supported that for one reason, to get votes. Because somehow, in their mentally disturbed minds, they thought that they was going to get the entire country, or at least a large portion of the population. They thought that they was going to get people like me and other people, like millions of us, to just somehow walk on board with this. These people are the leaders now. You got to follow this. You better call them what they want to be. You better call them by their pronouns. All these people just stood back and watched this go on. Not a person stepped up. They're all writing books. Going all over their news sites. Oh, Fox, the greatest conservative. That Fox is nothing but a joke. Man, they all are. CNN, Fox, these people are perpetrating the most ridiculous charade that people are falling for in the history of this country. They probably all go out and meet later on after they're done, and they say to each other, like all these politicians, man, that was a good one. I'm going to get you next time, Joe. I'm going to get you next time, Bernie. Oh, I'm going to get you next time, Ted. I'll get you good next time. That was a good one you got on me. And then I like how they refer to themselves. Well, our friends across the aisle. They like to use that term. My friends across the aisle. And yet you listen to all these podcasts and all these news clips and everything, and it's like you think they wanted to go out in the back alley and just literally beat the hell out of each other. People fall for this. 4 years, unelected officials calling themselves transgenders ran this country. And if you don't believe me, then you check Target, you check Nike, you check Bud Light, you check all these podcasters. To this day, these people on these so-called podcasters making all this money, all these big heroes, the online heroes that support Trump, and most of them were Democrats before. You go on there and you check out what they're doing. The same thing. All they're doing is blowing their mouth off to get you to give them money. And how, you know what? It used to surprise me how so many people could just, dish out money to these people for propaganda. It's like it doesn't surprise me anymore. I mean, those people to this day won't even. They even correct themselves. They'll talk about how they don't like this transgender stuff, and they don't like, but yet they'll use the pronouns. They'll use the pronouns because I've watched them do it. And then if they slip up, they'll correct themselves. And then they use this ruse. Oh, I gotta use these pronouns on a man, a biological man who somehow magically became a woman. I gotta refer to him as a her, or YouTube's going to come down on me. That's a lie. That's a crock. How come they're not coming down on me? I got a whole bunch of videos posted on here about Dylan Mulvaney. They're still there. These people are lying. People pay them for it. Pay them for it. Like I said in one of my other videos, you don't have to pay them. Come here, I'll give it to you for free. I'll give you all the propaganda you want. All of it. I mean, you go check some of these people out. You go look around what was going on for 4 years. All the stores and everybody. I mean, everybody. Everybody fell in line. Every one of those conservative podcasters, okay? Every one of the news agencies. Every one of them. Probably 90% of the people. They all bowed down, They all bowed down and went and got their COVID-19 shots. Oh, I got to do it for this reason. I got to do it for that. I didn't do it. I didn't get it done. Oh, I got to do it for my job. I got to do it for this. No, you got to do it because you're a coward. You did it because you were a coward. If those people would have stood up and said, no, we're not doing that, they could have shut this country down. I mean, that's what they were trying to do anyway with the COVID-19. So why take the shot? Why take the vaccine? They were trying to shut the country down. 4 years I couldn't speak out. I could speak out, but I couldn't do it on here. Not because I was afraid of YouTube. Well, probably because YouTube would have been conspiring with the United States government. And if they shut me down, I'm going to sue them for violating my freedom of speech. I'm tired of this. 4 years. 4 years we had transgenders running this country. 4 years. Unelected people, like 5% of this population who believe that they're somehow can magically become the opposite sex through this, wave these magic wands these doctors have. Those quacks. They should be rounded up. They should round them up like they did the Nazis in World War II. I mean, there was one time in the history of this country that if this kind of ridiculous Frankenstein stuff was going on, United States would have went to whatever country it was going on and put a stop to it. Now they participated in it like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. What I watched go on the last 4 years is the most despicable, ridiculous, demeaning, just degrading thing that this country, the people of this country, the athletes, the actors, the musicians, all those jokes, and all their big their pedestals get on there and they, make sure you get this year's vaccination so you don't get COVID-19. Unreal, man. I never realized that. I never realized that the people in this country. I don't think lunatics is even a right word for them. I don't know how to describe them. I really don't. I mean, I really do not know. Hurry up. You might be late on your subscription to one of these ex-Democrat conservatives. Pay them all that money for that propaganda.